Definitely one of the things we need to be scouting for in the fields right now is for stalk quality. Definitely get out in your fields, dig the plants up, and split these stalks open and start to examine the stalk quality of each of these and how long you have until stalk quality actually becomes a concern or lack of stalk quality becomes a concern. So here I've dug these plants, and we're going to split one open and actually show you what to look for on the inside of the plant. Alright, so I've dug this plant off. I'm going to knock some of the dirt off. I'll actually trim the brace roots off of that plant completely. Try to get as much mud off and dirt off as you can. And then I'm going to split into that stalk, and I'm going to split it all the way down through the crown. Alright, as the plant cannibalizes itself, alright, as we enter the end of the growing season, you'll see these vascular bundles actually start to turn pithy, almost like they have styrofoam. So this whole node is pretty much completely cannibalized. When we move into this next node, we can actually see that styrofoam starting to show up in probably 50 to 70% of these vascular bundles here. As we move down into these last couple nodes here, we notice they are fairly clean. There is a little bit of pith starting to show up, which we'd want to see at least two clean nodes to protect us from a lot of stalk rots and diseases later on in the season, and be able to hold that plant through black layer into final maturity. So we'd like to see two clean nodes at black layer. Here we see a little bit of pith starting to show up, but we also take into account that this is a pretty big stalk, and it's going to take a while to eat through all that. So this will be lower down on our list as far as harvest priority as we start evaluating different hybrids, different planting dates, different fields as we move through the season. So in this one, we've split it open. One thing we first noticed is probably that this stalk is quite a bit thinner. All right, so we have less reserves here to eat through. We can see that styrofoam pith showing up here. It's showing up here, and actually we can see some of that pith showing up all the way down in these first and second nodes that we're taking a look at, or definitely these bottom nodes here. The other thing that we want to look at is we do see the beginning of what looks to be some diplodia stalk rot, and we're going to want to be fairly observant in these fields. This plant here actually died prematurely. The plant looks completely dead from the outside. This whole hybrid actually looked completely dead. So it's got pretty good sized ears on it, but we're not going to want to wait for this corn to dry down into that mid to low 20s before we actually take it to harvest. So we want to be preemptive and make sure we get out there and we take this corn maybe at 30% or so to make sure that we're harvesting it while it's still standing. All right. This would be definitely on the first of our harvest order. We'd bump it all the way up to the front, and we'd want to go through the rest of our fields that have this same variety, definitely that planted around this same time, and evaluate those fields as well to make sure we don't have a problem with those. All right, so make sure as we progress through the season, you're doing a good job splitting these over the next couple weeks, evaluating your stalk quality, and starting to create your pecking order of fields that you're going to harvest first, which ones you think can hold out to actually be harvested last. Don't let moisture be the only indication of when it should be harvested. Make sure you're paying attention to stalk quality and definitely the presence of some stalk rots as we go through there. This pith should be white, even if it's eaten out the whole thing, and the fact that we have this dark gray, this dark brown running up and down the stalk tells us that this stalk rot's already in there, and judging by the outside appearance of the plant, it has already killed that plant.